This video is going to show you how to walk yourself through the steps of creating a relief sculpture. So I've already done my 6 thumbnail sketches where I'm doing 6 different compositions of whatever I wanted to choose for my photo of the material or object that I'm using as my inspiration. So I'm going to choose which one I like the best, and I'm going to stick with just the one cupcake here. And then I'm going to make another sketch that has, as my final sketch, that has all of the details that I need, including the layers that I want to use. So I'm going to use my photo as reference as to where there are spaces that are coming out closer to me in the picture. So the frosting here clearly has more depth in this space here where it's coming closer to me, and the parts at the bottom are farther away. Same thing with all of those little curved parts of the frosting, like the part in the middle is the part that's coming closest to me. So those are places where I would want to have more layers, and I can show that in my final sketch. So in my final sketch here, I have my cupcake, and I have broken it down into shapes that are pretty basic. At the top, for my frosting, I added some shapes where I'm going to have more layers to create the depth that's coming out farther on the frosting part, similar to what I just saw in my photo. So I have kind of the big background shape of my frosting here, and then I also broke it down into some more basic shapes here. I have one shape there, and then I have another shape inside of that, because again, that's the part of the frosting that's coming out towards me the closest. And then I also wanted some negative space, so I just showed where I would cut out from that piece of frosting there that would have some sprinkles being shown there. Then I wanted to draw out the shapes that I'm going to cut out of paper to help create my layers. So my first shape is just the background of my whole entire outline of the cupcake, because that's going to be my base layer to help already start building that depth. Then I have the big shape of just the frosting on the top part that I will put on top of that base to add my first layer. Then I have the shapes that I drew here. So I have 2 shapes. So this would be the first shape here that I would put on top for another layer. And then the shapes here that have the sprinkles that would go on top. I also drew out the rectangles that I wanted to add to the bottom part to kind of add those ribs of the cupcake container part of it, so that that also has some details. The first part that I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw out on my final piece of paper that first big shape. So I'm going to draw that out on my piece of paper, and I'm going to cut that out. So I just have this one big shape for my cupcake. Then I know that I need to cut out the smaller shape up here. So I am going to trace what I have here onto another piece of paper. And then I can simply cut out this top part so that I just have that one shape.